something I've been thinking about, and I'm not going to talk about it. I want to conduct an experiment. Let me put some wines in front of you here.
While you were setting, I was asking all these questions, and you said, stop asking all these questions.
Correct. It's experiment. You don't need to know. We got a white, we got a red. Combined, they make white and red.
Is that it?
That's it. What I want you to do,
yes,
have a taste of the red, have a taste of the white, and then I want to get your observations.
Should I be looking for something?
Just general feel. Are you enjoying it one after the other? How do you feel overall? So Trent's just downing the red. He doesn't know what's happening. He doesn't know if I've laced his drinks with some
ketamine.
Ketamine. What does that do? I don't even know what ketamine is. What's ketamine?
It's like a date rape drug.
Oh my God. No. None of that here at the wine shop. You had a taste of both. All right. So how do you feel? Anything that stands out? Going, you're drinking red, then you're drinking white.
I probably should have went the other way around.
Yeah.
So white, then red, because white's a bit more lighter, fresher, and then the red's a bit more bigger, rounder.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
do you feel like, are you getting a headache? Are you feel like vomiting? Is it gross between the two?
I'm fine. I'm okay.
That's right.
I'm an animal.
You are an animal, especially after the ketamine. Yeah. What I wanted to talk about today is the myth that you need to drink white wine before red wine to avoid a hangover. Have you ever heard this before?
I do, as I mentioned, I felt like I always had to try to drink the white before the red, just like you have like the entree before the mains.
Yeah. Was it to avoid a hangover, or was it just general etiquette?
It's more about the weight, I think.
Yeah. Is why
food.
They were telling you.
Yeah.
I've always heard it about avoiding a hangover. I remember, particularly in the early days, if I've had a bit too much and it was about wine, people would go, "Oh, it's because you drank white wine.
Yeah.
It's because you drank red wine before you drank white wine. That's the reason."
For me, it's about if you mix drinks, then you feel sick.
Yeah.
Like you go from, beers to wines, to spirits, back to beers. You just don't do that. You kind of stick to one and you kind of go with that.
Yeah, that's right. There's all of these rules about it. And I just thought, you and I have been tasting a lot of wine over the past 2 years, and we're not necessarily drinking it in order. Like, we're doing our recordings. We'll go from whites to reds. We'll try and go lighter to heavier, but we'll do a mix. And then we'll attend tasting events. And we'll do a similar thing. We'd still mix it up, but I'm not getting a hangover. So I wanted to know, is this a myth? You have to drink your white wines before your red wines to avoid a hangover. And, at the Wine Up, we always do our research, lots of articles to find out what's going on. And there's 2 articles, one from the Sydney Morning Herald, the other one from Vino Pair. Vine Pair, Vino Pair, Vine Pair. You ever gone to Vine Pair?
No, call it whatever you want.
Call it whatever you want. But they're both saying it's a myth. It's not true, actually. Yeah. Like all of this advice that I've been hearing.
So I can have a dessert wine before I have
to avoid a hangover.
To avoid a hangover. Okay.
Right? Remember, this is about, is that myth correct? And so what they're saying is it doesn't matter the order that you're drinking the wine. Is it white or red? If you're trying to avoid a hangover, it's purely about how much alcohol have you had, which goes to your point. Like if you're mixing it with a whole bunch of other things, like you're having a lot of alcohol at the end of the day, and that's how you avoid the hangover. And the experiment today, I'm hoping that, tomorrow morning you don't have a hangover by having this, but I doubt you will. But just wanted to debunk that. They do say you do need to drink it in an order if you're in a formal tasting environment, and you were kind of alluding to that. So the rule is typically light to heavy, which is usually white to red, but it depends on the wine, but typically white to red. And do you know why they're recommending to do it in that order?
I mentioned, I thought it's around weight. Like I feel like for white, it's kind of lighter, and you don't want the red one kind of overpower the flavors of the white. Yeah,
it's linked to that. So it's weight and it's tannin. So if you're drinking a lot of red wine, you've got a lot of tannins in your mouth. That can change your perspective on how you're tasting the white wine. And so that's why they're kind of saying it's in that order of preference.
It's like you have a delicate oyster, right?
Yeah.
For entrees.
Yeah.
Like you wouldn't have the big steak, the ribeye, and then have an oyster.
Yeah.
Because they just completely mask and overpower the taste of that fineness of the oyster.
That's right. But we're not in a formal setting.
No.
So that's where, we've debunked that myth. taste it in whatever order that you want to have. If you're in a formal tasting setting, maybe have it in an order. But sometimes people like to mix it up. Sometimes people like to have a white in between a couple of reds, refresh the palate, or throw in a sparkling to refresh the palate. And also, it depends on the food that you're having. Sometimes different dishes will require different pairings, and maybe you'll skip between the two. There you go. If there's another reason that you think you have to drink whites before reds, let us know in the comments below.